Morning everybody, and welcome back to part 2 of our glove making tutorial. Now at this stage you should have at least one of your gloves, if you're just doing one at a time, to the point of the start of the thumb gusset. So as you can see, we are right here on the glove. So I've worked the cuff and I've just done a few rows, 4 or 5 rows of stocking stitch, and I'm now ready to start the thumb gusset increases. This is really easy. If you're a sock knitter, you won't find this a bother at all. I mean, the increases that you use are not directly associated with a sock as such, but you'll be used to doing gusset increases. In my pattern, what I do is I use a make one left and a make one right, and that just means that your increases are going to lean in the right direction. Your pattern might give you a different type of increase, but you're going to work it in basically the same way. So what I need to do first of all is work across to the point of where we're going to start the increases. So for me, I need to knit across all of the stitches on my first needle. So I've got 56 stitches, so I'm knitting across 28. I'm just working my way across the palm. No, that's not the palm. The top of your hand. This is your palm. So I'm just going to knit across this row to the end. Now you'll need a couple of stitch markers. I'm actually only going to use one stitch marker because of the way that my increases are placed. My first increase is always right at the very beginning of the row, so I don't need to mark that because it's right at the very beginning. Your pattern might be slightly different, or if you're using double pointed needles, then you might need to use 2 stitch markers just to mark the points of your increases. But I only need 1 for my glove. And I've got these, I don't know if you can see them there, really tiny stitch markers. They're just solid rings. Can't for the life of me remember where I got them from. But they're just really tiny, and that I use them for socks and just perfect for, I'm using 2.5mm needles. So there we go, we've worked across those 28 stitches. Just going to flip around. I've got a kink in my cable, can you see? I bent it. Not on purpose, obviously. I accidentally bent the Chowgo mini twist. I think I'll be able to bend it back because it's metal inside. It's actually sort of bent the metal. So I need to deal with that at some point. Okay, so I am ready now to start my increases. Now the way that mine work, I am doing a make one left, I'm going to knit one, and then I'm going to do a make one right, and then I'm going to place a marker. So technically I should have a marker here because this is the start of my increases. But like I said, because it's right at the beginning of the row, I don't actually need that. So I'm going to work a make one left right at the very beginning. So it's really easy actually when it's at the beginning of the row because you're basically using this bar of yarn here that's working across to the back. So I'm going to pick that up, pop it on, and work a make one left. There we go. And now I'm going to knit one. And now I'm going to do a make one right. I always have to sort of pull the yarn out to get into the front. I find a make one right is a bit trickier. Let me move that glove out of the way so you can see. It's a bit trickier, I find, than a make one left. A bit more awkward to work. That's our increases, and now I'm going to pop on my marker, and then I'm just going to knit to the end of the row, round even. If I say row, you know that I mean round because we're working in the round obviously. So I'm just going to work my way across. Now your pattern will tell you the sequence of your increases, so it might be that you have an increase round and then you've got a plain round, then an increase round, then a plain round, or it might be that it's done in a kind of graduated way. My pattern tells me to work it in a more graduated way, so I work an increase round and then I knit a round and then an increase round and then I knit a round, and I do that for a certain number of times, and then the gaps between the increase round increases a bit. So he'll work 2 rounds plain and then 3 rounds plain it ends up on. But however your pattern tells you to follow, you know, to work your increases, just follow that. So that's the first round. And I sometimes put a little stitch marker, you know, like a progress keeper on the front of my work. But once you get the gusset going, you know that that's on the back of your work. So it's not strictly necessary, but you might want to put a progress keeper on the front. So now I have to knit a plain round, so I will do that and then I will get back to the point of doing another increase just so that I can show you again how that increase is done. Okay, so I've worked 1 plain round and then I've knit across my first needle and I'm back to the point of needing to work another increase. So the way that it now works, now I've got that marker in place, like I said, if you had another marker, it would be right here and you would slip that marker before we worked the increase, because my increases are worked inside the 2 markers. So again, I'm going to work a make one left first of all, and there are tutorials, separate tutorials on how to do a make one left and a make one right if you've never done those. So there's our make one left. I'm now going to knit to the marker and before I slip that marker I'm going to work the make one right. So again, lift up the bar, make one right, and now I can slip my marker and then I just finish the row round. So you can just carry on working your gusset increases now and work up to the point of where your pattern tells you it's time to remove the thumb stitches. So I will carry on working my thumb gusset increases and then I will see you back for the next tutorial, and in that one we are going to take off our thumb stitches and we're going to work up to the point of where we place the little finger, and then I'm going to show you how we work our first knitted finger. So get knitting your thumbs and I will see you back in part 3.